the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. E-double-L, I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like Bledsoe. Ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful. And I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full. I'm in it to win it, I'm all in. I might call you my cuz, young blood, but we ain't kin. You think of jumping, man, you best think again. The dirty, I'm the type of man that might go broke for revenge. Had some not so nice friends, kick the door off the hinge, take the door off your bins, pop up my phone and your friends.
Greetings and good evening. Welcome to the Roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is Tuesday, December the 9th, 2025. Bonsoir, comment ça va? I am Drew, and welcome to this fire episode of the Roundtable, where we tackle Week 14 and Week 15 of the NFL and the NCAA. And if we are at this point in the season, we all know that every game matters, no matter the location, no matter the temperature, no matter the elements, no matter the team record. You need that dub. And this weekend went a long way in figuring out whether or not these NFL teams are pretenders trying to be contenders, or you are stumping with the big dogs. And when it comes down to college football and college football conference championship weekend, there was no bigger weekend than this past weekend when you had the number one ranked team in the country taking on the number two ranked team in the country, and two national powerhouses that have a lot to say about who is going to be the national championship in the SEC. I'm ready to get into that conversation. Welcome to the Roundtable audience. Thank you for joining us tonight, wherever you are in this world. Thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your busy day to spend it with Griff and myself to chop it up and talk some football, both on the NFL side and on the collegiate side. And hopefully your team is still in it to win it. Griff, my man, how we doing on this fine Tuesday evening? Let's get after it. How we doing?
Doing good, man. Was looking forward to get here and talk all the things that been happening this weekend. It's championship weekend. Things didn't go the way, Griff wanted them to go. But then again, you know what? You got to hunt the good stuff.
You got to hunt the good stuff, and let's go ahead and start hunting that good stuff.
Let's get it, man. I hunted the good stuff, man. I'm in the college football playoffs. I know that upset some people.
Really, man.
We're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that too. But let us begin in the Big Ten, where all of the hype for the first time in a very long time was focused on the Big Ten Saturday night. You had the number one ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, the defending national champs, the undefeated Ohio State Buckeyes, and in my opinion, the untested Ohio State Buckeyes playing in the Big Ten championship game against the number two ranked Indiana Hoosiers, a team that has really shown that they are about that business this year. No matter who their opponent is, they show up every Saturday and they leave it all out on the field. And I said going into this game, I've been saying it for the past calendar plus month, that the Indiana Hoosiers were a better team than Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm going to ask you this question, Griff. Did the better team win on Saturday? And if they did, why? And can that team move forward? If they didn't, what happened to Ohio State to where they fumbled on the biggest stage of their collegiate season?
I think the better team did win, man. I saw a lot. When I watched this game, man, Indiana was able, basically, they looked like a team that, hey, we've been here before. Everybody else didn't think we were supposed to be here, but we here. They didn't look intimidated by Ohio State, all the hype about them being, last year national champions. This NFL roster that they got over there, they weren't intimidated at all. I mean, they brought just as much heat to Ohio State as Ohio State brought to them. Matter of fact, their quarterback was under more duress than the two kids. And you got both of the quarterbacks that's Heisman Trophy that finalists, and I think the Heisman Trophy winner is going to be actually determined because of this game right here.
Well, yeah, Heisman Trophy presentation is this upcoming weekend, is it not?
Yes,
And
sir.
both of these young quarterbacks are representing their universities, and they were both going into this game as leading candidates and saying, as the Ohio State quarterback was the odds-on favorite simply because of name recognition that's on the back of his or the front of his jersey. I called it, man. It's just something about effort is going to beat talent 99.99% of the time. And Ohio State has not shown anything all year that they deserve to be in the position that they were in. I got it. You only can play the schedule that is in front of you against the teams that are in front of you, and you go out and do your very best to win the game, which is the objective. But we are entering the phase of the season where it's not about just winning the game, it's making sure that you are preparing your team to face the opponent that's next up on the calendar. And Indiana has been that one team in the Big Ten that I can honestly say that can travel and play against an SEC team this year. And I would be worried if I'm that SEC team going into that game because they got the offense, even though Ohio State's defense that averaged giving up 5 or 7 points per game the entire year. You knew that you were going into a buzzsaw of a defense, but you just had to outlast that team that is coming off of that fresh 12 wins, that is coming off of that fresh national championship, that has that huge NIL roster that Griff mentioned, where your starting wide receiver is making more money than NFL wide receivers, who are leading the NFL in receptions. Because of NIL and what it has done to college football. But that does not translate to success on the field. And Indiana is that team going into the college football playoffs that can make it all the way to the title game and can end their season with the Cinderella slipper on their feet with a perfect season of 15 and up. It is doable. They are just as good as any of the 11 other teams in the playoffs. They are just as capable of winning these next two games. And their head coach is the difference maker for me. Griff, I saw a video of that coach today or yesterday on social media where this was a couple of years old. I guess him coming on to the Indiana staff or shortly after getting some notoriety and success. And a reporter asked him, what are you going to do when you go into the homes of these high school players or college players who are in the transfer portal to sell the Indiana Hoosier football program? Because we know Indiana is historically a basketball school. He said, you better Google me. All I do is win, baby. Like he is DJ Khaled up in this piece. All I do is win. So it sells itself is what I'm telling you. The product that I present sells itself. Indiana has SEC mentality ingrained in them.
Well,
They are that team to watch, man.
Where did that coach come from? Where did that coach at?
You know what? That's an excellent question, which leads us into the next game. Maybe he should steal down in Tuscaloosa, and y'all might have had a better chance. The SEC championship game between Griff's Alabama Crimson Tide and Clem's Georgia Bulldogs.
Man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, they do this on an annual basis. They play each other in the regular season, and 8 out of the last 9 years, Alabama has won that regular season game, and even the SEC championship game when they've met in the SEC championship game. But this year is a little different. We saw that in the first game when they played early on in the season. Alabama jumped out on Georgia. Georgia had to rush back, come back, struggle to get back, and narrowly lost that game. That was a telltale sign for me as to how both these two teams' season went. Alabama started off fast. After getting that first L out of the way with Florida State, y'all went on a 6-7 game stretch where you beat 4 top 15 teams. consecutively, week after week after week after week in the SEC. So they were not fluke wins. That's how your offense was clicking early on in the season. But the last month, y'all started to tail off. You saw it with the Oklahoma game. You saw it with the LSU game, even though y'all did win that game. Coming into the SEC championship game, y'all were hobbled offensively. And boy, did I not think that you were going to fall off the run cliff that you did on Saturday. How many rush yards did you have last week when you played for the Cowboys, Griff?
I ain't had no. I had 0 rushing yards for the Cowboys last week.
But guess what? You had more than the entire Alabama Crimson Tide. Man, I'm going to talk about George in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, man, so you can let out your frustrations about your time.
It ain't even no frustrations, man. I got to say, like I said on Saturday to all the people that watch me on live, man, a big shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart. I mean, we got truly out-coached, man. Truly, if you go back and really look at this game, man, and you brought up the Oklahoma game, and I'm looking forward to playing Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat us because of turnovers. They did. I mean, if you go back, they didn't do nothing in that game other than we turned the ball over. In this game right here, Kirby unleashed the hounds, brother. That's what he did. He knew that Alabama was one-dimensional. We ain't had a running game all season. Even when we beat Georgia early this season, we didn't have a running game. And Kirby unleashed the hounds. The play calling, to me, it's just like these kids were not prepared to play. If you really look at the game, go back and look at the whole game, Georgia offense didn't really do much other than have a short field each time when they scored. Anytime on the other side of the 50, they really couldn't do anything either. 2 great defenses played. But on the flip side of it, when you see this 28, Alabama defense was on his heels the whole time because we giving them the ball on that side. I don't want to sit like I'm making no excuses, man. Other than, hey, I know some people upset that we in the playoffs, but it is what it is. Again, you can't hold a team, you can't hold them accountable for playing an extra game. And then at the end of the day, Jokers could be mad, they could be whatever. Because Mike on here right now, because his Texas Longhorns ain't here. But guess what? They should have lost 3 games. How about that? They lost 3 games in the regular season. I don't want to hear that bullcrap.
Shout out to Mike, man. Shout out to Mike. I understand that frustration. And we're going to talk about the playoffs in just a minute. But let us wrap up this SEC title game. Let me focus on the Georgia Bulldogs and where they are right now going into the college.
Dangerous. They dangerous.
They are extremely dangerous. You say that Kirby unleashed the hounds, and Alabama scoring that late touchdown. I racked my brain, Griff, as it was happening in real time because obviously I have flashbacks to 2011 when this happened. Alabama being shut out in the first half. I'm like, okay, 14-0. Kind of jitters. Georgia bringing that additional heat. Alabama, knowing they didn't have a run game, kind of suspected. I knew it was going to be somewhat tight in the first half. But heading into the fourth quarter, and it was like, still, y'all ain't on the board. I'm like, is this the repeat of LSU against Alabama way back when in 2011 in the national championship game where you just forgot to bring your offense? Or is it Georgia's defense has taken that step from early on in the season to where they were bullpups, and now they are actually bulldogs, and they are going to smother the opposing team's offense and play ball control with Gunter on the opposite side in that offense and run the ball themselves and let their defense lead them to a national title. Well, they are the SEC champions. That is one of the most difficult things to do on an annual basis. And going into the college football playoffs, winning the SEC title for Georgia, the most important thing that it did was give them that additional week off. Where if there were nagging injuries, it gives them that additional time to heal up, give Kirby Smart and the coaching staff additional time to game plan for each one of their possible opponents in the second round in the semifinals, and look to make sure that we begin to put a game plan in place for the national championship if we are able to get past that first opponent. But let us talk about the college football playoffs itself. The rankings came out on Sunday. Fred, Longhorns didn't make it, but I see that you already got the Red Raiders jersey on, so you covered. Mike, my bad. The Longhorns didn't make it, but you got 3 L's. You kind of did it to yourself, so you got nobody to blame. You lost to Florida, bro. No argument there. Notre Dame, before we even talk about the playoffs, 10-2, nationally ranked, in the top 10 the entire year, except for after the first 2 weeks when they took those first 2 L's against two teams that just so happened to be in the college football playoffs. So those were quality losses coming out of the gate against Texas A&M and Miami the first 2 weeks of the season. They weren't blowouts. They were 1-point losses, 2-point losses. They could have easily gone undefeated. Do they, Griff, have a legitimate right? And don't compare them to Alabama. Don't.
You making assumptions, man.
Legitimate.
Ask the question, man. Ask the question, man.
Do they have a legitimate argument as to why they're not in the playoffs?
No, they don't. I mean, we've been saying this for years. Get in the conference. Get in the conference. If you don't want to keep on getting left out, although we can say that for many years Notre Dame was in there and people was like, hey, these guys don't even have a conference championship game and we getting hurt and they making it into the dance. You know what? It backfired on them this year, unfortunately. I mean, do I think they're a good team? They are a great team, and I think they would put up a better game than Tulane or what is it, James Madison. But unfortunately, they got automatic bids. It is what it is. I mean, they knew that going in. They could be upset. They could hold these kids out of bowl games and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna be happy because I mean Notre Dame don't have a conference. Join the conference. Join the Big Ten. Join the SEC. You won't have no problems. Play that schedule. They play all these. Yeah, they played Texas A&M and they played Miami. But who else did they play during the season?
They did play their traditional rival Navy. They did play their traditional rival USC. Stop.
See, that's what you see, Drew. That's what I'm saying. See. So who
Boston College. You know, their schedule is the same every year, man. USC, Boston College, Navy.
But Drew, let me ask you this: in basketball, they're in the conference, though, right?
They're in the ACC. Yeah.
So why they not in the conference during football season?
Because they make more money as an independent in the football season. They have their own network. They have a contract exclusively with NBC.
And so they can start their own independent college football.
All right. No, Notre Dame, you did it to yourself. Your soft schedule, the strength of schedule and the strength of record of your opponents matter. I got it. You were nationally ranked in the top 10 for the majority of the year. You're there for a whole lot of reasons, but whether or not you are actually good enough to make it to the playoffs, we'll never know. I don't know whether or not they are 10 times better than James Madison. I don't know that. Just because they have a bigger name, I don't know if they are better than Tulane. I don't know that. We're going to find out. I know the game between Tulane and Ole Miss early on in the season was somewhat lopsided, but again, that was 2 months ago. These teams are in the playoffs because they didn't sneak their way in. They won their conference championship. Tulane is 11-2. James Madison is 12-1. I got it. They are a group of 5 conference entry. But what the ACC has taught me in 2025 is that conference affiliation does not translate to on the field success. Look what Duke did to Virginia over this past weekend when Virginia should have walked away with that game. Miami should have played in the ACC title game, and then it wouldn't have been an argument. Notre Dame might have gotten in. But let us get to the playoffs itself. These first games, let's start off with Ole Miss and Tulane. From what I gather, you don't think this is going to be a competitive game, even though Ole Miss has an interim head coach and maybe just in a little bit of disarray. You think this is going to be an easy win for this SEC team?
I think it is. They still got even though their head coach is gone, they still got their defensive coordinator who is now the head coach, and they still got their OC.
Hmm.
The players are still in place. I personally think it's going to be a game, and I think Georgia benefits from it when they get ready to play Georgia. But the first round game, Ole Miss should win this game easily.
I agree. Ole Miss wins this game. I won't say easily. They're going to have to work for it, but they will eventually pull away late in the third quarter into the fourth quarter and win by double digits, somewhere around 38-24, 38-27, somewhere around there. Tulane had a phenomenal season. Their head coach is moving on to bigger and better things, at least for him professionally, because I believe he's going to Florida. But
they don't have the depth. They don't have the depth to compete with Ole Miss.
Right. And the SEC gravitas is going to eventually just wear Tulane out. Now, talking about James Madison, they won their conference. They are a 12-1 team, and they barely lost that one game that they did lose. Can they keep up with Oregon, or is this going to be a scrimmage game for Oregon in the first round?
Both of these teams, I have to be honest, I didn't need to watch neither one of these teams. But what I do know, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to keep it real with you. I mean, Oregon does play in a conference where, quote unquote, quality players. I don't want, and I take this back, man, because I don't want to make it seem like Tulane don't have a chance. Because with NIL and a lot of these kids, they play at these schools like James Madison, the ones that got frowned upon, and that people didn't look at, and they go in there and they flourish. I just don't think that because of the quality of the teams that James Madison played compared to Oregon, I think Oregon with the depth and the amount of players that they have, this should be an easy win for them too.
I agree. Same type of game that you are going to see in the Ole Miss Tulane game, I believe is going to be the same type of game that you're going to see here. If there is an upset this weekend, or not this weekend, but the first weekend they play next weekend, if there is an upset, it will be this game, the James Madison versus the Oregon game. Now, Texas A&M against the U. Texas A&M was on a heck of a ride until they ran into that buzzsaw called Bevo down there in Austin. Can they pick up where they left off before heading into Austin and finish the season like they were supposed to? Their quarterback should be back for this game. They still are one of the top two teams in the country, in my opinion, even after taking that L against Texas in the regular season finale. Or will the U represent the ACC?
Nah, man, they got Carson Beck down there. Carson Beck gonna be Carson Becking it, man. That's why they had to be on that's why they was on the outside looking in, because of that. So I think the Texas A&M defense is gonna give Carson Beck the business, and I think Texas A&M will move on forward to play Ohio State.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting game. I'm gonna roll with the SEC team as well. You don't know which Miami offense is going to show up. Even after an entire year, 12 games in the books, Miami going 10-2. I still don't see the type of offense that you can trust led by Mr. Carson Beck and whether or not they can actually have a deep run in the playoffs. So I agree Texas Tech wins this game. Now, the big rematch, and I'm so happy that this rematch is happening.
Me too.
Before we even talk about the game, I'm going to go ahead and give you the opportunity to dispel any people who are salty because Alabama is the only 3-loss team in the college football playoffs. But we did say about 2 months ago that if was a fifth, if there was a 3-loss team in the college football playoffs, it would come from the SEC. And it just so happens that Alabama is that team. Now, go ahead and justify your position. Justify why Alabama's there, and then we'll talk about the game.
No, I mean, again, I'm not even going to entertain the salty people. The salty people, by me entertaining the salty people, I'm feeding into the salty people. I want them to continue to be salty. Hey, it is what it is. Go back and look at the numbers in the last time we played. Oklahoma didn't do nothing in this game. They didn't. Alabama lost this game, and I think that it's going to be a different outcome in this game. And not because I'm an Alabama. Oklahoma does not have the team that people think they have. All right. And when we lost, it was because of turnovers in this game, and we beat them in every number as far as stats wise, other than the score. Go back and look at the numbers,
Yep.
and it's going to be the same thing.
I would tell you, man.
The only thing that they got is that we playing at their house. That's it.
Yeah, as a diehard SEC fan that has followed the SEC my entire life and know how SEC football is played, and every year I look at the calendar and say, okay, this game I want to see, this game I'm afraid of, this team makes me nervous, blah, 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 blah. Having seen LSU play both of these teams this year, I was going into the game against Alabama with apprehension. I, as a fan, was going into the Oklahoma game, even after LSU had the season that it had, confident that LSU could go to Norman and beat Oklahoma. And if not for that late fourth down game scoring play that Oklahoma got at the end of that game, LSU would have beaten them. Oklahoma is not as good as its record, ladies and gentlemen. I got it. They made it to the college football playoffs, but I believe that Alabama, if Coach DeBoer is really locked in, should be able to lead his team into Norman and deny Oklahoma something they've never done in the college football playoff era, which is to win a playoff game. They've made it to the playoffs several times, but they've never won a game. I think Alabama, if y'all can have at least a run presence to where you can get anywhere between 75, maybe 100 yards, y'all will win this game easy. If you don't, this will be a toss-up, but we'll talk about this game as we get closer to it next week. The four top seeds all earned their week off. Indiana, the number one overall seed, followed by Ohio State and Georgia. Didn't really matter as it pertains to their ranking, but it matters as to who their follow-on opponents would be. Georgia played Ole Miss earlier in the year. If they have a rematch, 1 by 3 in Athens, this will be a great game in a rematch. Ohio State against Texas A&M, perfect way for Ohio State to prove that they are worthy if Texas A&M is able to get by Miami. It's going to be a great college football playoffs from December the 19th and 20th or 18th and 19th that weekend, all the way through January 19th until or when the national champion is crowned in Miami, Florida. Miami hoping to be a hometown representative.
Drew, if it's anything I do have to say, and I'm going to shut up after this, man. I don't understand how Alabama and Oklahoma play on Friday and Oregon and James Madison play on Saturday. And they playing out in on the West Coast. I think that's a late game. It just don't make sense to me. I don't think they did right as far as the scheduling of the games. But again, that's probably that schedule was already in place before this all planned out, so it is what it is. But they could have rescheduled.
All right, so let us move on from the college football arena and the playoff discussion in that landscape to the big dogs. The playoff journey is always active in December, and the first big game I want to talk about was the big game here on Sunday at M&T Bank Stadium, where the 6-6 Pittsburgh Steelers were traveling to the 6-6 Baltimore Ravens with a division title and a division lead, not the division title, division lead on the line. And everyone, I am using the word everyone other than a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, believed that the Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson and a healthy Derrick Henry, were going to take care of business at home. But I tell you, Griff, man, this is the team. Karen, don't you dare log off. This is the team that simply can't get right for multitudes of reasons. What is going on with the Baltimore Ravens? I've said it every week that they've lost the game. Todd Monken is not the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator that is going to lead them to the promised land. But my opinion doesn't matter. Y'all just gonna continue to lose because you just can't get right. Jordan, you may need to go and grab the headset from Coach Harbaugh and see what you can do. Griff, is this Pittsburgh's division to lose, or can Baltimore save a season that has been an utter failure thus far?
Drew, this is another one of them games, man. It make you scratch your head because when you go back and you look at the numbers, man, Baltimore actually they ran the ball like I always say they should. They had over 200 and some yards rushing. They lost this game because they couldn't score in the red zone. I think it was 2 for 6 in the red zone. And if you can't score down there and you allow Aaron Rodgers to run for touchdowns, Lord have mercy.
Lord.
And he did a discount double check. It is. I think, and I know a lot of people, and I would be upset too because I will say this. I don't care what the NFL said likely did. That was a touchdown. I've been playing football since I was knee high to a tree stump. That ball was caught in the end zone. But here's the thing: what I always tell people, you cannot allow games to come down to these type of situations right here. And Baltimore had several opportunities, not just that opportunity to win this game, and they didn't. And so I think it's going to be a changing of the guard at the end of the season. That defense let them down. Aaron Rodgers ain't had one pass over 20 yards all season, and then him and Metcalf have like 4 in this game,
bro. Yes, sir. I said DK Metcalf was just eating
all season, man. DK had what I think I wrote down 148 yards, 7 catches, 148 yards. They ain't had that type of season, so we can blame it on the Ravens' offensive play calling, but the defense wasn't doing that great either. I mean, they held the Steelers to like 34 yards rushing. But Aaron Rodgers was able to get the ball out and get it to DK, and DK put him in positions along with their kicker to win this game.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right. I use the phrase "can't get right" about this team quite often because in every phase of the game, they actually outplayed the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were the better team on the field. Even though Lamar is not in Lamar form, they are still the better team, and they showed. Like you said, they just couldn't put the points on the board in the red zone. Yes, that was a touchdown from Likely. And if not for several other turnovers and or key mistakes, self-inflicting wounds on the offensive side, they would have put up 35 points easily. On the defensive side, DK Metcalf was cooking on Humphreys and Wiggins on both sides of the field. So it wasn't like he was targeting or the Pittsburgh offense was targeting one specific defender. You said at the end of the season there is going to be some changing of the guard. I've definitely been on the side of the track that says the offense needs to be changed. Coach Harbaugh's job is on the line. The way that the defense performed, the entire coaching staff should be under the microscope. Can Baltimore save their season and come back, or is this division going to be a one and done? It doesn't matter who wins this division, to be honest. In reality, whoever wins this division, you're going to lose that wild card game. I got it. You're going to be hosting, but whoever that 5th seed is, because you're probably going to be the 4th seed, whoever that 5th seed is, if it's not Buffalo, Patriots, maybe. Well, no, they're going to win their division. I don't know. But I believe that the AFC North is going to be a one and done team in the playoffs.
The way these other teams playing in the AFC, even whoever make it in, they're going to be struggling.
Yeah. If it's Houston or Jacksonville.
The defenses of the other teams in the AFC that's possibly that look like they're going to be in the playoffs is something serious. The AFC defense probably look better than the NFC defenses right now if you really look at those squads.
Yeah, man. You departed, at least for me, because I am a huge Baltimore Ravens fan. Like I said, Lamar Jackson is my favorite player in the National Football League. I left this game salty disappointed that one, the team that I was supporting lost, but two, the way that you lost, because you gave this game away to the next game, where even though I picked the Chicago Bears to travel to Green Bay, go into Lambeau Field, and come out of there with a dub, they did not accomplish that. But I left that game hopeful that the Chicago Bears are not a fluke. This was their biggest test. Even though that Green Bay is still favored to win the division, even though Chicago went from first to worst as it pertains to playoff picture from first position to the seventh position after this loss, they went into Green Bay, got completely shut down in the first half where it was a 14-3 halftime lead, and led two late game long drives to put themselves in a position to not only answer the bell, answer the call, but get that dub at Lambeau Field in December. Didn't come up the way that they thought it would come up with that last second interception by Caleb at the back of the end zone on that fourth down play. But how impressed are you with the Chicago Bears, even when it lost?
You know, I've been giving Caleb the business all season, man. But his performance in the second half, even for me, I said, wow. Because I mean, Michael Parsons had that joker running the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
But his ability to throw that ball on the run, scrambling, some of them passes that he made, and he threw the interception at the end of the game. But why did he throw the interception at the end of the game? He's trying to win the game. He only got seconds left on the clock, so it wasn't like he just was. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But this game right here, I got a lot of respect for Caleb. I would say on the Green Bay side of the ball, man, and Love come right out the grip throwing interception or whatever. But it ain't nothing like having your top two receivers back. He had Reed and he got Watson back. He lost Kraft, who was his guy, but he got Watson and Reed back, and it showed in this game. Along with that other boy from Alabama that played in the backfield by the name of Josh Jacobs. That just but here's what we talk about when it comes to being able to run the ball. Several times Green Bay could have been stopped, and Josh Jacobs was able to make plays happen to extend drive. This is why running games are important. If you have running plays, then you don't have to worry about not being able to run the ball on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. And that was a difference in this game. And both teams have excellent running games, and I say these two teams will probably be seeing each other again.
Well, one, they're definitely seeing each other again in 2 weeks because they play each other again in 2 weeks in Chicago. And the division title will most likely be on the line at that game if Green Bay is able to win, being that they'll beat them twice head to head. And we'll talk about that later. But for this game, what Chicago showed me was that, they could compete not only with the Philadelphia Eagles of the world, but also the projected Super Bowl or one of the Super Bowl hopefuls for the NFC in Green Bay at their house in late December or in December and have the opportunity to win this game in what is really Caleb Williams' extended rookie season. In Ben Johnson's rookie season as a play or a head coach. And the huge leap that the Chicago Bears made from last year to this year, not only is their hope, but they can grab it right here this year. If not for the Josh Jacobs run that you're mentioning late in the game that basically led to that game-winning touchdown where he broke the tackle of 5, Chicago Bears just ran right through him to get that key late red zone first down for that game-winning score. This was going to be a game that was going to most likely go into overtime because they were going to trade field goals, at least in my opinion. Then, anything can happen. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this season plays out for both of these two teams. I don't think Chicago is going to fold. I think they are going to push Green Bay to the limit. And both of these teams staying relatively healthy, hopefully. I got it. Jordan Love lost Kraft, but man, Watson came back with a vengeance. And he is not only the number one receiver for that team, but a legitimate top 10 receiver in the entire league. And Jordan Love needs to make sure, him and Matt LaFleur need to make sure that the offense is kind of run through that primetime receiver, no matter the weather, no matter the location, and Green Bay should be all right because Micah is going to do what he does on defense, along with the rest of that defensive front. They're going to bring the pressure no matter who the opponent is. Looking forward to the rematch at Soldier Field in 2 weeks. I just might go with the home team. Or I don't know. We'll see. Now, going from hopeful to, man, Dallas? So you're saying there's a chance. Bruh, y'all got hope because Philly, it's got 2023 written all over it. It's got 2023 written. Adrian, where you at?
He ain't showing up tonight. He ain't showing up tonight. Trust me, he ain't showing up.
Oh my goodness.
We lucky to have Christian here. Christian is here. Christian is here, so you got one representative of the Eagle family.
Now, I'm going to ask you this before you start talking. Did the better team win last night, or did Philly blow a game?
Philly blew a game.
They blew the game. Yeah. Damn, Jalen Hurts, he was handing them out, wasn't he?
Man. And that ain't something he do, man.
That is out of the ordinary, I understand.
That's what I was trying to explain to Christian, man. I said, look, I know it hurt, man. But this is not something that Jalen Hurts do, man. He had 5 turnovers. Hell, he threw an interception, recovered the interception, fumbled the interception. I ain't never in my life seen
a couple of them wasn't his fault.
the same play.
The receiver in the hands.
Yeah,
a couple of them.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, AJ had a good game, but AJ he dropped some balls last night too.
Yeah,
balls that Jalen got to him, man. The defense played superb, man. I mean, they gave Justin Herbert the business last night. I think he was sacked like 7 times last night.
So if I'm Nick Sirianni, I got it. There's nothing worse than taking an L on a Monday night game where we needed this dub. But we did it to ourselves. They outplayed the Chargers in every capacity. Saquon finally had a Saquon type of game. AJ had a good game. If not for the 33 and a half turnovers, Jalen Hurts would have led this team to a dub. And the Chargers are a good team. That's where I'm getting hey, all we have to do is correct this. If I'm the Eagles, all we have to do is correct this and pay a little bit more attention to that, then we'll be okay. And I got it. We're only 1 game up in reality up against the Cowboys at this point. But our schedule is favorable. We got to play the Commanders and the Raiders this weekend. So that's a
W. You go ahead and you gonna eat that W right there.
I don't know. Troy might pick the Raiders. He might suit up.
Man, Troy said that we picked the Chargers. I don't remember picking the Chargers. If I did, it was because I'm in the football league and I'm just trying
I think I picked the Chargers. No, I think I picked the Chargers. I think I was going with the home team to pull off an upset. But I wasn't confident in that. I was doing it just to kind of boost Dallas' hopes up.
Well, thank you.
That's what it was. Yeah, I did go with the Chargers because I wanted to have
this. Us, the Dallas congregation, appreciate you trying to boost us up, man. We thank you.
But
speaking of the Cowboys, say this. I said Saquon got to touch the ball elite, and he did. He touched the ball 20 times, got over 100 yards rushing. It's the turnovers, man. The turnovers is the difference in this game.
Yeah, that is the only reason that Chargers won. But this was a key victory for the Chargers, and it keeps them alive not only in it or AFC West on the outside chance that Denver crumbles, that they can snatch the NFC or the AFC West title, but they're jockeying for playoff positioning as well. So kudos to the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh is always going to have his team prepared. Philly was the better team. Philly, if not for the turnovers, accomplished everything that they wanted to accomplish in this game. Establish a run game that can be trusted, ensuring our passing game is efficient enough to sustain drives. And we really have to lock in on ensuring that we take care of the ball. Jalen Hurts coming into this game had what, 3 interceptions, 2 interceptions all year.
Yep.
So you and everybody knows that every team has this one game
Yeah.
to where you just can't explain why
Yeah.
we did what we did.
I
And
mean,
it
you
just
could look
so
at
happened.
almost every quarterback that had Jared Goff had a 5 interception game. Sam Donald. I mean, all of them have it, man.
Yeah, this year. Yeah,
It's just when you have it. That's the problem.
exactly.
It's when you have it. Right now, they can't be affording it. Well, yes, I hope they have some more games like that. Me personally.
Yeah, yeah. The Eagles' concern is legitimate. You should be okay. Take care of business. You're still one of the best teams in the National Football League. You just got to make sure that you're putting it on the field there Sunday and playing against the Raiders up this upcoming Sunday. Perfect opportunity to have a good scrimmage.
Troy said if Jalen Carter would have played, we would have been visited. We would have been visiting Herbert in the hospital. I mean, hell,
They get out there, bro. They did get out there.
he didn't go to the hospital after that game last night without Jalen Carter.
Yeah, man. Hey,
He was getting leveled last night.
as they say, the dynasty is over. It's over. The Kansas City Chiefs, the team that you should never bet against, the quarterback that you should never doubt, had the opportunity to make a statement this weekend at home on Sunday Night Football in front of the entire country that we are still that team. Well, the number one team, as it pertains to defense, had something else to say and prove that you are no longer that team. Are the Chiefs done? The dynasty is over. Should Kelsey hang it up? Should Mahomes look for a new head coach as Andy Reid rides off into the sunset? Or is everybody throwing dirt on the Kansas City Chiefs just a little bit too soon? And how bad are those Texans and that defense, Mike?
First of all, big shout out to Mike and his team. I know he's been waiting for us to get the new section.
Mike said, there it is, buddy. There it is, buddy.
I would say this, man. It's amazing how when teams that's everybody accustomed to winning, everybody want to see them. They want to see them lose. Everybody want to see the Chiefs lose because how the Chiefs has been owning everything. Now I would say, man, I watched this game, man, and I would tell you the Texans won because they got a defense, and we say defense win games.
They got it.
But they still lack on the offensive side of the ball. I don't care what nobody say. Nico Collins showed up a little bit, but they still don't have a running game, and it's going to be an issue down the way. Now, as far as it's the dynasty over, I would say that the season probably is over with for the Chiefs, but I still wouldn't count the Chiefs out. I still don't see Andy Reid leaving. Me personally, he's still going to be there. Kelsey, 1 reception last night for 8 yards. Yeah, it's about time to go ahead and go and marry your wife and fade out into the sunset, become a commentator. Because I think them days is behind him because he just don't look like the Kelsey of old. But this Chiefs team, man, yeah, you like you said, man, having Patrick Mahomes, people just, 3 interceptions last night, man. That was because of that defense. That defense was on it. I wouldn't count the Chiefs. I would count them out for this year. They done this year. You can stick a fork in them for this year. But I would have to, for me to say the dynasty, let me see what they look like next year.
Wow. Man, there are moments in life where you have this flash of a memory of something that happened to you or an event that you were at or something that you were participating in, and it happens in the blink of an eye. I had this flash in my mind as you were saying that the Chiefs and the dynasty is not done to the conversation you and I had at the end of last season on the last season's farewell show after the Super Bowl. And I asked you this very same question, is the dynasty done? And you told me 6 months ago or 8 months ago that It was the complete opposite. That they are done. Put a fork in them. They will not be back into the playoffs or have an
I said
impact.
that.
Yes.
We need to start. Hey, we need to start.
Yes. Hey, we can pull, I swear, before my Lord and Savior, we can pull the tape. It was February the 13th. February the 13th, 2025, the Super Bowl finale episode. Pull that clip, Jordan, for the next show.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I could. I was right.
No. My point to saying that was I was the one on the opposite side saying, man, hold up, wait. Tonight is opposite. I say they done. They're not only done this year, but it's going to take several years of getting us back to where we want to. Even with Worthy, he's going to be injury prone for the next year or two. Even with Pachenko and Hunt, well, that is going to be hodgepodge. Kelsey, whether he comes back next year, he's obviously going to be slower. So I don't see how that improves the offense. Kansas City is going to be a team that is always a threat, but the dominance that they once had over the AFC, Josh's window is opening. Joe's window is going to reopen if Cincinnati ever gets a defense. Lamar's window will open a little wider. Justin Herbert's window. Lawrence's window. Shedur's window. Everybody else's window is going to open because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a continuous decline here over the next couple of years. That's all I'm saying.
I say this. Troy bring up a good point. When you win in Super Bowls or runner up in the Super Bowl, normally that means where is your first pick at?
Don't nobody care about the next year's draft position.
I hear you, but it does make a difference.
No, it don't. You're a Super Bowl winning team. The next year's number one pick is not going to make that much of an impact on your team anyway.
Players, but what normally happens after Super Bowls, Drew?
Oh, I got to get paid, so I got to go out there.
I got to go. People start. And what happens, man? It don't be the same Super Bowl team that you had it don't be the same team.
True that.
So they start to drop off.
I understand. Texans made a huge statement. Going into Arrowhead in a key December game where we didn't believe, Mike, that y'all could play outdoors. We didn't believe that anything under 40 degrees that C.J. Stroud could, put together an offensive game plan and continuously drive to a point to where we're keeping the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hand. We knew it was going to be cold in Arrowhead on a Sunday night in December, but the Texans made a statement. That's why I say the door's closed. The era is over. Losing the way that you did at home in December in a must-win game, yeah, they're still alive. Yeah, they still have a path to the playoffs. They're not going to get there.
Yeah.
But, hey, there's always next year. All right, man. The 2023 cliff is definitely alive in 2025. Instead of the Philadelphia Eagles, is the Indianapolis Colts. Whether it be because of injury, whether it be because of offensive inefficiency, whether it be because of the Ipsies, I don't know. It doesn't matter. We are where we are. At this point, I don't think the Colts going to even make the playoffs. I'm just saying. The Jaguars defended Duval County. Huh?
They went and got Phillip Rivers back, baby. They could. They done pull Phillip. They would have done better asking Andrew Luck to come back. They wouldn't have got Phillip Rivers.
Bro, ain't Cam Newton like 10 years younger than Phillip Rivers? I mean, he can at least throw 10 yards. He can run 10 yards. Phillip Rivers, hey, the Colts are not going to make the playoffs. Shout out to the Jaguars, Duval County, the way that Trevor Lawrence has seemed to come in his own with this rookie head coach. Several rookie head coaches are balling, man. You got the rookie head coach in Chicago, the rookie head coach, I believe, in Carolina, and the rookie head coach down there in Jacksonville that are putting in that work and have their team competitive in their rookie year and competing.
Seattle.
McDonald's second year.
Actually, that's a rookie coach to me, dog.
I got you. Yeah. So, I mean, either way, new quarterback. So, either way, yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised with Trevor Lawrence or disappointed that Jonathan Taylor?
I think when Jones went down in the first quarter, that game was over with.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was over with. Once he went down, I wasn't expecting much from Riley Leonard. I mean, the kid probably was not expecting to even play that day. And I think the motivation within the team showed because Jacksonville was able to do something I ain't really seen Travis Etienne do all year, and that was run the ball. Trevor Lawrence was making passes. Brian Thomas Jr. Wanted to show up, and Trevor Lawrence was making plays that I'm not accustomed to seeing him make. And so I just think the game was over with the minute, and I knew that it was done. I looked at him, I said, man, that's that same look that Aaron Rodgers had when he tore his Achilles. But I knew it was over with. When he hit that ground, I said, yeah, that man is done for the season. And
the bad thing about it is that Daniel Jones was actually transitioning from Danny Dimes, the butt of the joke, to a quarterback that is dependable and is entering the second phase of his career where he's gotten rid of that negative vibe of my rookie deal that I walked into a bad situation. He tore his Achilles in December.
Man.
That means preseason out the door. Most likely the beginning of the season out the door. He might be lucky to come back week 10, 11.
Man,
that's if he heals properly.
And they lost Richardson. Richardson got an eye injury. So, hey, Troy said they bringing Noah to try out. Noah was going to try out, but he couldn't get on the ark, and Moses declined.
Man,
look, man, lightning can strike twice. Look at all you got. Aaron Rodgers in the league. You got Joe Flacco in the league, man. You got some old heads in there making it do what it do, man. Why Rivers can't come in and come off the shelf, man, and be like a what is Warner coming up off? Warner was stacking. He was look, Drew got that look on his face. Warner was stacking groceries and stuff, and he was a stocker at the grocery store and came off the shelf and won the Super Bowl.
Hey, Kurt Warner was a 27-year-old phenom, first and foremost. Now, I'm going to put my general manager's hat on and add a little bit of emotion to what I'm about to say. As a GM, the Irsay family have completely turned this team around after the owner passed away last offseason. Your logic is way out there in left field for me on this one. Why? Because Phillip Rivers is 44 years old, has not played a single down of football since 2020, the COVID year. That's 5+ seasons. Any general manager, and he's already signed to the practice squad, which tells you he's going to play.
He been training, man. He been. Hey, they say if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Hey, stop it.
He been training, man. He been training. He been waiting for this moment.
Dude, was Phillip Rivers a mobile quarterback?
No, he was not. so they so we ain't looking for no mobility out of him at this point.
So the argument that y'all made about Joe Flacco being a statue and unable to throw, Joe Flacco has much more mobility than Phillip Rivers, has a stronger arm than Phillip Rivers, even though Phillip Rivers had a gun. But that was 5 years ago, Phillip Rivers. We don't know what.
Phillip Rivers had running backs, too. Phillip Rivers had running backs. And they think, he got a running back right now, too. So he had a Damian Thompson and did he catch Taylor on the back end right Taylor came right when he was getting ready to lead the game.
Man, the two quarterbacks that pop into my head is Cam Newton, 10 years younger.
Oh, Cam, easily. Ain't nobody finna bring Cam back though. Cam
The
don't want
excuse
to.
is that okay, he's either been out of football too long or he doesn't fit the offense. Same argument was used with Colin Kaepernick. Oh, he's been out of football too long, less time than what we see Phillip Rivers at
We
that
already
time.
know.
But
We
man,
already know
come
what
on.
that is though. That's a whole nother story. That's
All
a
right,
whole
all
nother
right, all
story.
right. It was a great weekend of football. A lot of teams had good weekends. A lot of teams didn't have good weekends. Some playoff dreams were made, some playoff dreams were dashed. Some disappointment happened over this past weekend, both on the collegiate side and on the NFL side. And if your team has officially been eliminated, whether it be in the college football playoffs or the NFL playoffs, 2026 is right around the corner. We gonna be all right. That's all right. But for the rest of us that are still in it to win it, except for the next team that I'm about to talk about, Thursday night football, man, closing the door on week 14,
Let's
opening
go
the door
Falcons.
on week 15. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting a division rival, the Atlanta Falcons, neighbors right down the street, down I 895, 95, 295, one of those 95s. Traditionally competitive NFC South type game. But here over the past month, I don't know what's going on with Tampa Bay. They are not the same Tampa Bay team that we were lauding at the beginning of the season, where they were coming back in every game and winning late, playing 60 minutes, winning at the buzzer that first month, heading into the second month. But they've taken a slide, a tailspin, even to the point to where my Hoot Saints came in a sombrado last weekend and hung a fresh L burger on Baker Mayfield with Tyler as our.
Y'all messing with y'all draft picks.
I know, right? I was somewhat disappointed. But as a who that you got to take that dub when you can get that dub. But I was like, come on, man. This is the one game I kind of counted on y'all to take that L, but we're going to take care of business later on. But what's up with Tampa Bay? Are they sliding? And we already know Atlanta going to do what Atlanta going to do.
Man, I got Atlanta for 3 quarters of this game. Atlanta going hard for 3 quarters of this game, baby. At some point, and I know we gonna do our picks on, but Baker they gonna be all right. They'll do what they gotta do to win this game. I really want to see them lose though, because I want to see this thing come down to the wire with them and Carolina. I want to try other team. I really want to see the Carolina Panthers represent the NFC South. That's what I want to see.
What I really think you want to see is whoever is the champion from the NFC South, that they have an 8-9 record going into the playoffs.
That would be like really make my day. Because like I said, whoever come out the NFC gonna have a lose. The NFC South is gonna have a losing record. But I wanted to be Carolina.
I don't know. It's going to be exciting. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the better team. They should be able to right the ship. Atlanta, again, the epitome of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They had so much potential coming into the year. If I recall correctly, they were my pick to win the NFC South at the beginning of the year. They've completely fumbled that, whether it be through injury, inconsistency, not meeting expectations. They have completely fumbled a team that had the potential to actually have a good 2025 season. But
Kirk Cousins earning his paycheck right now, baby.
I know he's still collecting his 40, baby.
Yeah, Kirk mad because he was getting paid sitting on the sideline. Now he got to go out there and get his head bucked.
Yeah, I think his salary this year was $27 million,
Wow.
guaranteed. Then, of course, if he get certain yardage because he's playing, all of those incentives start to kick in, whether they win, lose, or
that money go a long way in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, boy. He can get a lot of hot dogs there.
Kirk Cousins, a 4th-round draft pick in the very same draft class as RG3, both of them drafted in by the Washington Commanders. We know RG3's career was basically cut short because of injury, but Kirk Cousins, a 4th-round draft pick, has accumulated one of the highest earning salaries in the history of the National Football League, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't one a grape.
What they say, don't hate the player, hate the game, man.
You right. Let me get my hands out that man's pocket. My bad. But I do have Tampa Bay winning this game on Thursday night. It is the Thursday night game on Prime, ladies and gentlemen, at 8:15. If you ain't got nothing else better to do, The Price is Right might be on in your neck of the woods, or even watch a rerun of The Young and the Reckless if you so feel.
Ooh, Victor Newman, baby.
You got Tampa Bay too, man?
I got Tampa Bay in this game, man. Like I said, I got the Falcons for 3 quarters, but the fourth quarter, it'll be Tampa Bay will figure it out.
All right. Big games this weekend, all across the NFL. 3 of them that I want to touch on tonight, and again on Friday night. This is the prove-it game for the Patriots, not for the Buffalo Bills. This is the prove-it game for the Patriots to me. I got it. The Patriots win. The division is yours. And now your number one objective becomes home field advantage throughout the playoffs, depending on what Denver does. You're at home. All is on the line. Win, and the division is yours. Win, and the division is yours. Win, and the division is yours. You believe you have the better team. Josh Allen knows what Josh Allen has to do. Everything. Can Josh Allen do everything? Yes, he can, because he has proved it over and over and over again throughout his career and this season. So the pressure is on Mike Vrabel and the Patriots defense to come up with a game plan to stop Superman. Can it be done, Griff? Will it be done? Who you got?
I mean,
Don't say who you got, but what?
I can't say who I got, man.
Yeah.
I said it for Friday, but to answer your question, I think it can be done. I like the way the Patriots playing right now on both sides of the ball. And on the Buffalo side, I just think Buffalo has a problem with stopping the run, and you don't know which Buffalo team is going to show up either. You know, they lost some games this year that we predicted them to win. So I'm looking forward to seeing this game. And like you said, all this does is add to the Patriots' credentials as being a true contender by winning this game.
Yeah, man. And I had hoped that here over the past couple of days, the NFL or CBS would have made the decision to flex this game, because this is the early game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. You would have much rather to see this game at 4:30, 5 o'clock on the East Coast at Foxborough, where the atmosphere would add to the ambiance and the gravity of the importance of the game, making the pressure on the field much more exciting. But we'll know by 3:30 whether or not this game is going to be even something that is going to be a lead off on any sports show. Can Drake May win the big game? He hasn't won a big game yet. Everybody's putting him in an MVP conversation because of their record, but has he even thrown a 300-yard game in his career? The answer is no. So this is the prove-it game for me. I am more interested in what the Patriots do against the Buffalo Bills offense. That defense against the Buffalo Bills offense. You say that you don't have any trust in the Buffalo Bills defense, and I understand, because you're right, they can't stop a nosebleed. But when Josh is on and James Cook is on, that's a deadly combination. And they can go anywhere and hang any amount of points that are needed against any team. Now, got it. They had their chance earlier in the year when the Patriots came to Buffalo. Again, different circumstance, different time of the year, different amount of pressure, different scheme. I'm leaning towards Buffalo to go into Foxborough and gutting this out, but obviously we'll talk more about it on Friday. But this is going to be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it as well. Now, the next big game, this is another prove-it game for me. Last weekend was the prove-it game for the Chicago Bears going up against the Green Bay Packers. This weekend, to me, the prove-it is on the Green Bay Packers and whether or not you can travel into hostile territory and win a key big game, because they haven't done that yet this year. Denver, you know their defense is going to show up and put pressure. Can Jordan Love balance that out with the newfound connection with Watson? And can Josh Jacobs have a repeat performance of what he did this past weekend? Or will the defense of the Denver Broncos, led by Sean Payton, stand up? What are you looking for in this game?
A defensive struggle between two good defenses, and which one's going to create the most turnovers. I think both quarterbacks can easily turn the ball over. I've witnessed both of them do it. And with the pressure that both of these defenses are going to be bringing, not just the up front, but in the secondary, this is going to be a close game in my eyes. I mean, even though, they playing in Denver, I think it's going to be a defensive struggle, and it's going to be a late fourth quarter turnover that's going to determine this game.
I agree with you. This is going to be a defensive struggle. And it's going to be somewhat of a defensive chess match between the two defensive coordinators and the two head coaches, who are both offensive-minded coaches, who are both aggressive at times, meaning that they're willing to take chances, regardless of the location of the field that their team is on. So I'm definitely looking for a game where it is going to come down to that third element, special teams. Can we have a kick return? Can we have a block punt? Can we have one of those 65-yard field goals in an environment where the ball is going to continue to travel to decide this game? You're right. A turnover is most likely going to be a deciding factor, but both of these teams are playing not only for the division lead, but their conference lead. Green Bay still has a path to the number one seed. They want everything to go through Lambeau Field. We know Sean Payton wants everything to go through Denver. So which young quarterback is going to be that quarterback to either make the big play or make the key mistake? I don't believe it's going to come down to the run games. Both of the run games are going to be efficient enough to sustain drives, possibly create big plays. It's going to come down to the play of the two quarterbacks. Which one has the better game? Which one has the least amount of turnovers? And which one is able to have a key run late in the game on his own, using his own two legs to scramble, get a key first down to continue a drive to give his team the chance to win. And that will be the deciding factor, in my opinion. It's going to be an exciting one. Cannot wait to see it. That one is the 4:30 game on Sunday. So either way, you're going to have two very good games on Sunday afternoon. The third game, which is also a 4:30 game, huge game. Huge game. I cannot wait to see this game. Why? You got two dome teams who basically mirror each other offensively, have the same type of capabilities offensively, are very familiar with each other because they both decided to draft the quarterback that is playing on the opposite team. Had success with both quarterbacks while they were on their team at some point up to a certain level. Jared Goff has gotten better since he's left Los Angeles after taking them to a Super Bowl, even though they were gifted that Super Bowl in 2018.
Somebody still, man, let it go, man. Yes, it was pass interference, man. Let it go.
I know. And Matthew Stafford doesn't seem to age at all, because at the beginning of the year, we thought he was going to come onto the field with a walker. Well, he's only had the best year of his entire career at 37, even with his lower back problems. A leading candidate for the MVP, has his team primed to be the number one seed and have everything go through la-la. And Baltimore needs this, or not Baltimore, Detroit needs this game. They need this game, because they lose this game, they are possibly sliding out of the playoffs. What are you looking for? And we're playing in Los Angeles, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So the Matthew Stafford Bowl. what needs to happen from each one of these offenses to give their team a better shot at getting that dub?
Both got great offenses. Detroit defense is hurting. Every week they lose a nut. Like last season, they lose, and they keep on losing some key players, and I think that's going to be a big issue in this game. I think Puka and Devontae Adams is going to have a field day, as well as Corum and Williams in the running game. I think on the Detroit side of the ball, I think Dan Campbell is going to have to take what the Rams giving me. I mean, that means not going for it on fourth down, trying to be a gambler when you got an opportunity to kick a field goal, kick the daggone field goal. That is the problem with this team. This Detroit team, man, they coach hurts them.
That is the coach's fault.
I blame it on oftentimes, and I know he is so that he can say that he got faith in his team and his players and stuff. But sometimes, as the coach, you have to say, okay, how many times we gonna lose a game by 3 points because we keep on going for it on 4th and 2 or 4th and 1. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do it against the Cowboys. He didn't do it one time against the Cowboys. But I can see him going there and trying to do that bull crap against the LA, and they're gonna mess around and come out on the short end of the stick. The better coaches in LA, in my opinion, the better offensive minded coach is in LA.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got it. Sean McVay has proven to have an offense, especially led by Matthew Stafford, that is going to put up points and success.
Even when he had golf.
Yeah. But more to this game. Whether or not Dan Campbell's aggressiveness is going to lead them to jeopardizing their season. Herm Edwards said, what, Griff? You play to win the game. And a game like this, points are at a premium. So you got to take it where you can get it because it's going to be hard to come by. So I agree with you that he would not go for a 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 from inside the 30 early on in the game. Take the points, coach. Take the points, coach. If your kicker is good and trustworthy, take the points because you're going to have to compete with a Los Angeles Rams offense that is going to be efficient because Griff mentioned the defensive challenges that the Detroit Lions have. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are two of the biggest, fastest receivers in the National Football League that can create separation, that can run you over, that can and most likely do win those 50-50 balls. They are catching the ball from a quarterback who is having the best year of his career, and a run game that is legitimately a threat. Now, the injuries that the Detroit Lions have on the back 4, back 5 on defense are going to cost them. So it's going to require Dan Campbell to be aggressive with the two-headed running back monster that you have in Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery. Couple that with Goff and a efficient passing game that can take the cap off of the defense. We all know who they got as a deep threat, the Alabama speedster, Mr. Williams, and we've all seen what he can do. We saw what St. Brown did last week in his return. So Detroit's offense is capable going up against a very good Rams defense, but will be able to get their opportunities. They just got to make sure that when they get them, they make them count. This game is not going to be a low-scoring defensive struggle. It's going to be in the mid-20s to low 30s, I believe. But both of these quarterbacks are going to be able to have those opportunities to shine. Their team just has to execute on offense. Looking forward to this game. This is going to be an exciting game. Probably the one that I'm going to pay the most attention to because I'm looking to see whether or not Detroit can save their season. Their playoff season is on the line this weekend. Los Angeles has to keep up because of what Seattle is doing to make sure that they are not only there for the division lead and the division title, but for the number 1 overall position in the NFC. Great lineup of football this upcoming weekend, and we'll talk about more games on the Friday night show. Griff, we've come to the end of tonight's episode. My man, my brother, my pal. Any parting shots for the roundtable audience?
Hey man, as always, thank y'all for always chiming in, giving y'all commentary. Harold, I put your book in the mail, man. So I put it in the mail yesterday. So I think you should receive it by Friday. Thank you for your support. Thank y'all all for y'all support. We will be hosting some drawings. Drew, I think we said in the beginning of the season, but I'll be sponsoring the Don't Talk About It, Be About It, be sponsoring somebody's Super Bowl party. Just be on the lookout for that. Your resident author here. I appreciate y'all support. Hey, and if you have not already done your Amazon review of the book, please go do so at your earliest convenience. Me and my people, thank you. And I turn it over to you, Drew.
Appreciate you, dog. That's a direct shot at me. I feel you. I got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that, my man. I shall take care of my responsibilities.
I wasn't even talking about you, but like in the book said, hit dog, holler first.
Hey, hit dog, it's your holler, baby. Say all of that to say congratulations once again on all of the success associated with Don't Talk About It, Be About It. This coming from the cultural best-selling author, ladies and gentlemen. The CBSA is what they call them. They call that other dude Pretty Ricky, but this GDG is what they call them, the CBSA. So if you have not already purchased the book, Perfect Holiday, read, purchase for a loved one, to offer a lending word or two. So support your favorite author, Mr. Garrett Griffin. To the roundtable audience, again, phenomenal weekend of football. Looking forward to this upcoming weekend. Again, depending on where your team is or your favorite teams are. If you're Fred, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. You just kick back, relax, and just check the scores later on and go through the closet and select whatever jersey you're going to put on for later on.
Celebrations, baby. That's all you got to do is become a celebrationist.
The celebrationist. But hopefully y'all have a great and a phenomenal week. We shall be back here Friday night to talk about all of the upcoming games this weekend in the NFL and the Army-Navy game being played at the M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland this upcoming weekend. Go Army, beat Navy. As always, it's going to be an exciting Army-Navy game this weekend, but looking forward to those NFL games. And we'll start talking about the bowl season for college football, depending on where your team landed, if they are not one of the top 12, or if they were not one of those that decided to opt out because they were salty and did not finish the season the way that they wanted to. You didn't do it on the field, so now you're mad.
Hey, man. I hate to step in, man. Yeah, I forgot all about our fantasy football, man. And daggone Fred had to remind me, man. Man, when I tell you my team, look, Daniel Jones was my quarterback. Man, I think I had a couple of players that I had to. Did I have a line? I can't remember who defense. Man, it just was. Fred had beat me on Thursday night.
Really? That's
he had Brandon. He had James.
I have not checked the results from this past weekend, but for the first time, I know Saquon, who is one of my starting running backs, got me some numbers for the first time this year.
You started him? You started?
I did start. I start him every weekend because this could be the weekend. This could be the weekend. It just never has come to fruition until last night. So, man, we shall see everyone back here on Friday. Y'all have a safe and a blessed week. Take care of yourselves. Stay warm. Stay hydrated. Keep your head on a swivel as you should always do so, no matter where you are. Do something nice for yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Do something nice for your family. Take care of your family. And if given the opportunity to do something nice for someone that you may not even know, because it just might be the best thing that happens to them and you on that particular day. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all be breezy.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. E-double-L, I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood, so ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful, and I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full. I'm in it to win it, I'm all in. I might call you my cuz,